Actually, it's going to be specific around content marketing, and here's why. In today's world of marketing, we're seeing an ever-increasing importance around content, and whether it's social content or just video content, there's just a lot of content out there. So my question is actually going to be around a recent successful event that you executed. Excite has been a very successful and major event for IBM Japan, which Catherine has executed. Has content played any role in the success of Excite, whether it was for invitations for people or the actual event itself around content? Did that play a role?
Well, content is king, right? So the best content wins. And I think what we learned from Excite is to deliver content in a 360-degree way is really important. So even though the anchor tactic was the event, we certainly focused on content in many different vehicles. So everything from digital marketing, social marketing, mobile experience, online web experience, the physical experience with the environmental design, and the content that we featured at the general session and in the booths and breakouts was extremely important for us. And I think what we learned is the way you present the content and the story by which you tell the content is really important. So making it consumable and easy to understand was something that we focused on. And as you know, Excite was an integration of 7 other key events into one event. And our biggest challenge was the content and how we were able to make the story easy to understand for the client. So one of the things we decided to do was create a framework and a structure for that content, which ended up being around cloud, data, engagement, and then special content focused on development. So once we developed the construct of how we wanted to deliver the content, feeding in the right message was pretty easy.
You're very focused on generating a decent platform for software group. There was a Facebook page, Twitter page, a blog page that you guys worked on. Is there any type of strategy that you have in the type of content that you distribute in those channels in order to continue to engage your fans? Like, what's your strategy when it comes to social content in your channels?
That's a big question. So I think the first is understanding which channel is right for which audience. That's really important. And I think what we decided was to do some analysis on how the person, who they are and their persona when they're using that channel, and make sure that the content mirrors the need of why they're going to that specific channel. So as you mentioned, we had some pre-existing channels before we did our big launch and integration. So what was really important for us was to look at what was existing today and where the gaps were, and then do sort of some integration. And the content that we use, we try and share as much as possible if it's relevant across the channels. But what we found is some things work better in different channels. So for example, in Facebook, we find that images are extremely impactful when trying to tell the story or trying to get an action out of the audience. Twitter, short, quick messages that they can instantly remember is extremely important. For the blog, really taking the time to tell the story in great detail is another way. So even though the topic may be the same, the way that we actually tell the story may be very different.
We'd like to kind of look into the future and think ahead for what lies ahead for your team. In regards to what we're talking about around content and marketing, do you have any ambitions on how that would evolve into 2015 and beyond? Your ambitions around that?
We always have ambitions. So I think the key is to make sure that your content's always relevant. And what we're finding is that the way people consume content and the type of content that they want to engage with is very different than it was 10, 15 years ago. The content has to be sticky. And what we're finding is that people are consuming so much information on a daily basis. So in order for them to retain something, the message that you want them to keep is very difficult.
Right.
And so I think we are taking an approach around simplification. And how can we communicate the message in the shortest way, most impactful way possible, using different techniques. Some things like infographics, for example, really easy to understand, really easy to consume, and they're quick hitting, and you can remember quick statistics, but you may not be able to remember key information from a long story. So adjusting the content in the way people want to receive it, and they want to receive it faster. So that's what we're focused on.
Bite-sized content.
Bite-sized, exactly.
We hope to play an important role as an agency to deliver on your ambitions for 2015. So thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.